Hey, how you doing guys? ZDEyE here. So today I wanted to do something different. In this commentary, or I should even say live commentary, I'm going to be going over the Tiermaker and a full list of FromSoftware games that I have played on my PlayStation 4. It's important to clarify as well that one of these games never came out on a PlayStation 4. So, because of that situation, more or less, I'm not going to be including it into my list. Demon's Souls is one of them, obviously, because it never came out on a PlayStation 4. It's rumored, and hopefully Bloodborne Games is remaking this game on the next generation of console, PlayStation 5. But I'm gonna strictly put it here because I'm not gonna count it, as I'm counting all the PlayStation 4 games that came from FromSoftware. Yes, some of these games you also can already see. It's not necessarily that they came out on PlayStation 4, but they had their own remakes and the upgrades and such that they were kind of resold again on the PlayStation 4, right? I need to mention as well, the only reason also that you're seeing all these games is because I had a full summarization, a full thinking I have done for these games, because last time I played all these Dark Souls games was back in 2019, somewhere in summer, and in period time of 4 months I played all these games. It's quite insane. I was a full-on addict from software games. And basically, you know what, let's just begin. I don't think you want to hear more of me rambling about this. Let's just start putting these games into the list. Need to clarify one thing, is very important. This is strictly my opinion. You may not agree with me, and obviously it's understandable, right? This is my opinion. Some things I'm gonna vote it down, some things are gonna be higher up in the list. As you can see, masterpiece, great, good, okay, bad. Actually, thinking about it now, I don't think I should have put bad in here at all, because there is no bad game from here. And anyway, so Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the Sin. You can see right beside us on our Dark Souls 2 DLCs, obviously they had a couple, and I'm going to be including that since I played on my PlayStation 4. I played all the DLCs, and that it came with it. Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the Sin, for now, I'm going to put it on a good category, due to the fact that when I do organize all these games into this list, I may swap things around a little bit near the end of this commentary, so stick around for that. But if you want to hear more synopsis and my summary of my experience of these games, continue on watching. Dark Souls 2 was I believe was my second or third. Obviously, you know, my memory can be hazing on me a little bit. It was my second or third FromSoftware game that I truly wanted to get into it, and like seriously, I was addicted, like I already mentioned, into this sort of game. Dark Souls 2 again has a different kind of a approach as a Dark Souls game goes, right? Dark Souls 1 and then Dark Souls 3, that's how I went about. They were a little bit of a different approach how Dark Souls 2 goes about. It's a lot more linear in the approach, but an open world element it has as well. A lot of people did not really like Dark Souls 2 because of it. And but for me, I still enjoyed the hell out of the Dark Souls 2. I had plenty of time and plenty of fun on this game. I'm not gonna be one of those guys and just saying this was a trash game. It really wasn't. You know what, because this, I can't exactly, put the DLCs separately, because I had an experience with the DLCs as the original of the vanilla story. I'm gonna put it right next to this with the Dark Souls 2, so, the DLCs including are gonna be in a good category. For now. Next up is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This was my last game from software that I have played, so it's my most that I remember. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is a completely different type of game. It has inspirations from Dark Souls and from series games, right? But it's not really close to Dark Souls. It's a very type of different game, and I really appreciated it. And also, by the way guys, all these videos, all these games I'm talking about here, I got all the videos all about them. Just take a look all over my YouTube channel. I have plenty of these videos. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, back on track. This was a game that kind of changed my mind about how I see Dark Souls games, because I have played so many of these Dark Souls games, and Sekiro kind of gave me a different approach to this, and I've really enjoyed it throughout. And because of this, I'm definitely gonna have to say Sekiro was a better game in my opinion than Dark Souls 2. But still, it's not necessarily meaning that it's a way better game, because as you can see, it's not on a good or a, my Dark Souls 2 is on a good category. My Sekiro is on great category. Definitely not a masterpiece. I'm 100% certain about on my approach that it's not a masterpiece game. So it's actually quite important for me to mention as well, I have played Dark Souls Remastered, not Dark Souls back in 2000 and I think it was 2009, yes. But I need to clarify one of the few things as well. Dark Souls, I have played the remastered. It was also kind of combined experience. I never had to wait it out and see what kind of DLCs will have different approaches to the vanilla of the game. Everything was kind of smooshed into for me together, so I can't exactly give you a separate category of these DLCs and a vanilla game. So Dark Souls and Dark Souls Artorias of the Abyss are gonna go in a similar category. Now, at the moment, I'm not too sure what I would like to put it, because I personally think I liked Dark Souls Remastered more than Dark Souls 2, but I don't believe it deserves to be in a similar category as Sekiro. But as I mentioned, near the end of the commentary I may do some swapping around. Okay, so we can continue into the Dark Souls 3. This is actually the DLC. I'm gonna move this closer here so it will be easier to follow through. Dark Souls 3 and also the Dark Souls 3, the Ringed City, also the Ashes of the Ariandel. You know what, DLC, I actually played them completely separately from the vanilla of the game. The only reason I even played the DLC for the Dark Souls 3 because, well, you guys, you mentioned to me, give it a shot, play the DLC, you will love it, and I really did like it a lot. Also, need to mention this, Dark Souls 3 was my first game that I got into the Dark Souls series. It was my very first game. I gave up on it quite a few times, but I pulled through and I enjoyed throughout properly. Even though the first game that I actually tried to finish it, but Bloodborne was a different story. I'll get into that later actually. I don't want to spoil anything. Oh yeah, you can see it in here, right here. We got actually the Dark Souls 3 DLC. So I'm gonna put the DLCs together with the vanilla for now again, but I'm going to make sure that I will change a few things around. Because this is my first game that I truly enjoyed it for my own sake and without any help at all. A few things I got some help and approaches and tips and such like that was in the DLC, because it was much more fun to play together. So I'm gonna put this in the masterpiece category. Again, I'm gonna change a few things around. Bloodborne is next, and Bloodborne, the Old Hunters DLC. I played them, they were also separately, I have played them. Bloodborne was a fantastic experience. I'm definitely putting a masterpiece category. And okay, so Bloodborne, if you guys want to see whole reviews, all these games again, they're going to be in my YouTube channel. Be sure to take a look. Okay, so things need to be changed around, shouldn't they? Okay, I'm gonna have to put some of these games, or at least one of these games, into the okay category. And you may already guessed, Dark Souls 2 is going on the okay category. Next up is going to be Dark Souls 3. I feel like is my... I don't want to say it's a masterpiece game. I don't believe Bloodborne is a masterpiece game either. I really don't. Like, if I would have to do this, honestly, this is how it should be. But that's me being extremely non-biased. If that's the correct way of approaching it, of course. Now, a lot of people may not agree with this list or this category, but I believe this might be the best approach and best tier. And again, there are some things that has been done from Bloodborne, it's just fantastic. Like, for example, if I would put like Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 right next to each other, because like I personally think Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, they're very, very close to each other in my personal opinion. And I love these two games to death. Even the DLCs do not come close. Even though I would love the DLCs, but the vanilla just simply outmatches it. So I may actually keep it like this. I don't know, because like I feel like Sekiro needs to go up higher. I had a lot more fun playing Sekiro than Dark Souls 1. I really did, believe it or not. So Dark Souls 1 is definitely a great game. I don't have that kind of fond memory of it though. I don't have that nostalgia that you guys perhaps have it with your Dark Souls 1 experience. Like a lot of people favorite was Dark Souls 1. But not for me. For me, it was Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3. those two are gonna be my masterpiece games for sure. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, I loved it very, very much. Bloodborne, the Old Hunters DLC, I'm gonna leave it up high as well. So goes for the DLCs and the Dark Souls 3. I'm gonna keep it there on the grade. Dark Souls, I don't have that kind of experience that you guys had for your Dark Souls 1, so I'm gonna keep it on a good category. Dark Souls 2 was a great damn game, but it's still gonna be on my okay category. Well, I think that's that. I think this is my list. I know probably many of you are kind of disappointed to see that Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls, and is such a low in the category, but that's just how I felt about these games. Sekiro is definitely higher than Dark Souls 1 for sure. I believe that too. And Dark Souls 3 is even better than Dark Souls 1, or even Sekiro, in my personal opinion. Alright, well, I think that's that. I don't think there's anything else to add in this list. Okay, well, I think that's that indeed. Alright, well then, tell me down in the comments what is your list of the Dark Souls, well, I should say even FromSoftware on games on the PlayStation 4 games. Again, what is your list? What is your pick, so to say, right? And anyway, thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys all later, have an awesome day, and as always, have a good one.